Hello, if you are in the room, we are just waiting a few moments till some other people trickle in. Full disclosure, I live in a small town that tests the tornado siren right on the hour every day. So if you hear that, it'll last a few seconds, and I apologize. That's how they summon the volunteer fire department as well. So safety first. Yes, I'm very used to it, but on meetings and webinars, it's a little loud. So all right, while we wait for some people to trickle in, how about we share a win from today? Professional, personal, share a little positivity, something great that happened. I was on PTO yesterday, so today's my Monday, and I want to soak up everyone else's good vibes.
My win was I woke up randomly at 4 in the morning, and by 5 in the morning, I thought of something very critical to our business that I had forgotten to do. So I sent myself an email, and that's a success, my success for today.
It's always good when it comes to you like in a
Yes.
dream, it's a blessing. All right. I think we are good to kind of kick things off. So I want to thank everybody for coming to our first live panel of Jackrabbit Connect, where today we're going to cover customer connection or engaging with parents and families using Jackrabbit tools and our integration partners. I am Lauren Cash, the Lifecycle Marketing Specialist here at Jackrabbit. If at any time you've received an email from Lauren at Jackrabbit, that is me. I'm a real person, so feel free to email me back at any time. I am super excited for the panel that I have today. We are always thankful when our Jackrabbit users are so willing to share their experiences with you all. So I'll introduce them. I have Ryan with Dance 10 Performing Arts Center in California. I have Heather with Action Kids out of New Hampshire. I have Jesse with Dynamics Gymnastics in Pennsylvania, and Tina with All for Frisco and All for Prosper out of Texas. So we are very thankful to have you today. And I think we'll kind of jump right in here and set the mood with a regular question on just kind of emphasizing the importance of keeping families and parents engaged with your center and what that does and the long-term effects of making sure that these parents and families are engaged. And I'll kind of connect with everybody on that question. So how about we start with you today, Ryan?
Sure. What I think is really great is when I have parents come back and tell me, oh, the thing I was being told information was easy to find, or I was easy to get in touch with you. So that's something that we get regularly from our clientele and we think is really important. So obviously the tools that we're using within Jackrabbit and the partners are helping that a lot to make that a seamless experience, because we don't want to put any hurdles in place that make it difficult for anybody that we're working with.
That is a really great way to summarize that. And then there are so many tools within Jackrabbit, so we'll kind of touch on those today and get some specifics. But how about that question for you, Tina?
Sorry, I had to mute there. Mine is very similar. I think our customers really appreciate the fact that they can go on their phone at any time, add a class, drop a class. So it's just at their fingertips, not having to talk to a person. Of course, we have a reception area that's fully staffed, but so many of our customers really do appreciate being able to kind of do everything self-serve.
We always joke about somebody being behind the curtain, and Jackrabbit is that Oz behind the curtain, kind of helping puppeteer things and giving you time back in your day, which is really great. How about you, Heather?
I was just going to say the exact same thing. We are fairly new to Jackrabbit. We've really only been using it about a year. And previously, our customers could not sign up without connecting with us. And we thought we were doing the best thing, having that, customer service interface. We had to talk to every customer, and nope, they prefer to just be able to log on at any time of the day or night. And when I mean any time of the day or night, I see enrollments that come in at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., midnight. Makeups are being booked at that time. So for them, it's about convenience.
They're having a Tina 4 a.m. thoughts, right? to register for their classes. And how about you, Jessie?
We find that recently, ever since really COVID, a large percent of our parents don't even come in the building anymore, or are just there for pickup. They're not getting the flyers. They're not hearing the lobby announcements. It keeps them connected, us being able to send the emails, the notifications. There's also the long-term effects are retention. If they feel like part of the family, if they feel like part of the studio, they're going to stay with us. We have 10 gymnastic studios within 15 miles of us. So we do have to fight for that business, and we want to keep it where we're at. We don't want someone to go somewhere else. We want them to feel connected with us. So.
And we will touch on a tool today that really solidifies a great way to connect with families when they don't want to come in the building or can't come in the building. So we'll get to that one shortly. But I'd like to start things off with discussing our first feature integration, which, if I'm not mistaken, everyone here does use Jackrabbit Plus, our custom branded mobile app option that lets you put your business in your customers' hands. I think maybe unfortunately we all have cell phones these days, and I don't know about you, but mine is glued to my hand. So it really is an awesome tool to have your business in. Everyone else is glued phone hands. So let's kind of kick things off with this Jackrabbit Plus discussion. And I don't want to kind of corral anybody to talk about anything specific, because I want to tap maybe even things I didn't think of and how you use Jackrabbit Plus. But if you all could touch on the features within Plus that you use, whether it be group chat, push notifications, punch cards, any of those things that keep people engaged, keep people coming back, and keep those lines of communication open, that would be awesome. So let's pass it back to you, Jessie, and your experience with Jackrabbit Plus.
First of all, Jackrabbit Plus was a game changer for us. It streamlined everything, put everything in one place, from the registration for classes to events. It's just one place that all the parents can go to do everything. We do not currently use group chat. We will be implementing that in the fall, hopefully with our team families. Push notifications is something we absolutely use. We do not use punch cards. Do you want me to go into the detail on my push notifications, why we use it, what we use it for? So,
Yes,
instant
absolutely.
results. Push notifications are an instant result. People, I find the emails get lost. They have so many of them. When we send out a ticket email, hey, tickets are on sale. Within a week, I had 50 families purchase tickets. Sent out a notification on the app. Within 20 minutes, I had an additional 50 families purchase tickets, because they're just not reading the emails. We also try to only use our notifications for important things. We don't want people to turn off the notifications. So we're really trying to use it minimal 2-3 times a month. We use it for weather closures, if we're closed for a holiday. It's great that you can put it, you're closed on Monday. I don't want to send everyone a notification about Monday. I just want to send the Monday classes. So we use that. And then also for things like ticket sales and Fun Week and progress cards. Like, parents want to know what's going on with their kids, especially if they're not coming in the building. In a gymnastics facility, they're not as close to their kids as in a dance. They're not really seeing them. It's like a speck at the other end of the gym. So we, use that to let people know progress cards are coming out. Look for the progress cards so the kids don't leave them in their cubbies and leave without them. So we find the notifications really, really help us with the in parent engagement. We are really looking forward to starting the group chat with our team.
Yes, both notifications and group chat are easy ways to connect and connect quickly. For those not familiar with our new group chat feature, you are able to create groups, and whether it be team, your booster club, just your Monday families, and send them messages. It does allow them to send messages back to get their questions answered. You can send pictures, PDFs. That's a really great tool to kind of take things to the next level beyond push notifications. But if we could pass things over to Ryan and your experience with Jackrabbit Plus and the features that you use and how you use them.
Yeah, so we, when we started with Jackrabbit Plus, we basically just treated it as a kind of standalone extension, just to sort of see where things were going to go, our extension of our website. And the response was really positive, sort of very much similar to what Jesse was saying. The push notifications are something that we use quite a bit. I mean, it's the most used feature that we use in the app. We're in the process of implementing group chat for next year. And then punch cards we haven't used, but it's been something that we've been discussing with our Zumba teacher and some of our adult classes about probably implementing that this year as well. So we're deep diving into that as well. But again, the response on push notifications are really good. I definitely, we use it for like when it's registration time, the new schedule's out, you can check it out. That prompts people to get right online and sign up for classes quickly. So that's worked out really well for us. And I just like the simplicity of it. And like you said, everyone's cell phone is in their hand and our logo sits on their cell phone, and it's just another reminder of a way they can connect with us. So
if you guys are listening, there's a theme here: push notifications with Jackrabbit Plus. I will have Molly, our amazing moderator, throw a link to Jackrabbit Plus in the chat so you can start reading up on some of these features like push notifications. But how about you, Tina, with your Jackrabbit Plus experience?
I would be repeating what they've said, but we have not been using the chat, and you guys have just gotten me excited about it. So I'm going to put that on my to-do list, because we're using a third-party additional expense program for that functionality. So that's exciting to hear that people are loving that, and I need to definitely engage on that.
And how about you, Heather? Are you using anything aside from push notifications with Jackrabbit Plus? And I know you're new, so don't feel any pressure.
So we are new, and we are still learning all the capabilities of that. We're a little unique, at least I think we might be. We have two class management softwares that we use. We have a really big summer camp as well, and we had an existing software that we decided to stay with, and Jackrabbit is for everything else. And the upside for us is we were able to with some limits, connect both softwares to the same app. So it does help all of our customers. We really just link it to our website for our summer camp. And we are also, we haven't gone with the chat yet. And we are really just doing a big push for the app. We didn't really implement it until last January. So we're still working on the best way to utilize it.
I mean, once everybody sees how easy it is to access your business, I think they'll be believers. There is a question that I want to address on Jackrabbit Plus as an app and where you can find it. So the really awesome thing about Jackrabbit Plus is when you sign up, you are getting an app that is made for your business. And that is what shows up in the Apple Store and the Android Store. So you're not going to go and find Jackrabbit Plus. You would go and find, the name of your business and your app with your logo and your colors and all that excitement in the app, which I think is really cool. I mean, there's so many things in the app, and your business is in the app. So we are always happy to answer more questions about Plus, but that's kind of how that works. And there is something that integrates with Plus that we haven't touched on yet, and that is our live streaming capabilities through Spot TV, which I know Heather has available for her business. So we will kind of touch on that. But Spot TV is a really awesome way to allow parents to view your gym from wherever. So if dad's on a trip and he wants to see what his daughter's doing in the gym, and mom's the one in the lobby, he can log in through the parent portal or through Plus and see that. And selfishly on your end for your business, it'll free up the lobby, everybody crowding around the window, and those sort of things. And as Jesse mentioned, not everybody comes into the building, but you still want them to be connected. So that's what Jackrabbit Plus would offer for you. So Heather, how has having Jackrabbit Plus played a role in connecting families and keeping them engaged? And are you using that for just swim or gymnastics or both of those in your business?
So we are using it for both. So before we came to Jackrabbit, so we've had Spot TV since the pandemic. But it was a standalone. So now that it's integrated, it's going to free up so much more of my time. So previously, if somebody switched classes, I had to go in and manually switch them over in the Spot TV portal, and I could never keep up with it because people were always switching classes. Now it is my understanding that whatever class they are enrolled in, that is the class that they will see. So if they're enrolled in a makeup, they can see the makeup class as well. And I really love that feature because I just could not keep up with all of the switches, and it was tough. I love the fact that it is integrated into the app because very few people watch it from their computer. They're always on their phone. I love the way they can let grandparents do it. I just had a set of grandparents visiting today who were visiting and they wanted to come and watch their grandkids. And I said, oh, let me tell you about the Spot TV app that we have. So they were really intrigued because they live across the ocean. So they can watch it from their place and keep in touch with their grandchildren that way.
And that is really awesome and crazy to keep them connected from, across the ocean. That's cool that that feature exists. Technology is usually like a gift and a curse, but this one really feels like a gift.
Yes.
And you mentioned a good point that I forgot about how safe and secure this is, because you really only have access to view, your child's class. So someone's not logging in to see a class that they have no business observing.
Yes.
So.
And one other thing, Spot TV is when they say that no screenshots or videos allowed, they mean it. As soon as and I was playing and I took a screenshot and it cut me off. So it really does have that capability that if somebody's taking screenshots, it definitely will cut them off and you will know about it. The only other thing that I just thought of was our no photographs and videos. We have some parents who don't want their kids photographed and videoed. They will contact us and I always say, well, we have this Spot TV. So they will be photographed and they will be videoed through the Spot TV. And that kind of makes them a little bit less nervous about the video. They think of it as security, not somebody, randomly posting their kids' pictures on Facebook or social media.
Yeah, it is a tool that really just kind of has peace of mind associated with it. I will have my moderator Molly plug Spot TV in the chat if you are intrigued and want to explore this for your business. I had heard through the grapevine, Ryan, that you are interested in Spot TV, maybe that you don't have it yet, but if you were able to, offer any insight onto what has you interested in Spot TV and applying it for your dance studio.
Yeah, so we actually are in the process of setting that up. We're just waiting for the equipment to arrive. So we are still offering Zoom classes in tandem with our standard in studio classes. We have a lot of adults, and so that's why we keep it going. But we decided what was happening was the teachers were giving out the Zoom access to parents to watch because we had closed our lobby. We only reopened it about 3 months ago. And so what we decided was we don't want the parents to have a way to like physically interact with the class through Zoom. So the Spot TV was the next best choice. And I have friends with studios that have recommended it, that are using it too, and they've really enjoyed the process. So it just seemed like a simple solution to help keep parents out of our lobby, because we do not have a very large lobby, and also provide them the way to see what's going on, which is the biggest request we've had since we've had our lobby closed for so long.
And that your comments on Zoom are a really good segue. We received a question. We were using Zoom pre-pandemic for our staff meetings, and we were able to continue with classes virtually 1 week after shutdown. Spot TV came along later. What benefits would moving to Spot TV have in our situation? So, as Heather mentioned, Spot TV is integrated. So you could use Spot TV as a way to generate revenue and continue your virtual classes. And then as Ryan mentioned, that there's less of that interaction from parents and comments. So you really would just be streaming your coach, your teacher, and people could, if you wanted to, have them tune in from home and take the class if you were interested in continuing your classes that way. A little extra revenue. So that could be a possibility for you. And I'm happy to answer further questions on Spot TV and Zoom if you want to keep throwing them in the chat, or reach out to me. Again, odds are if you're here, you received an email from Lauren at Jackrabbit. That's me. So you can send me your questions too.
I would add one thing on our gym is open to parents. But we do have a section of our gym where they have terrible visibility or no visibility. So having this has been a game changer for them as well, that they can see any part of the gym anytime their athlete is in a class. So that could solve some people's issues where maybe you have big poles that are blocking or just the obstructed view. It's been great for us.
Yeah.
And I would just like to add, we do not charge our customers to use the Spot TV. It's just an additional service that we offer. I'm not even sure how one would administer that. So,
really could just be a tool that puts you apart from, everyone in your radius that you're competing with. So really seems like a win to have Spot TV in your corner.
Yeah.
Another thing on my list today, which may not really be top of mind when you're thinking about staying engaged with parents and families, are the policies that you set and have them sign on for when they are registered. So Jesse and Tina today have been deemed policy queens, I was told. So I'm ready to ask questions about how you set up your policies. Jesse, how do the policies that you create keep you connected with your families? And what kind of items do you make sure to include on your policies to keep everybody in the know?
I honestly found this a little bit of a hard question. However, once I thought about it a little bit, we do a lot of things in our policies that keep our parents engaged. For instance, our team families, they are required, and they sign it in the policies. They have to help with the home meet. They have to help with the showcase. We want them to be involved in all of our events that we hold for the team. Like we'll hold the family bonding, a hayride. We do a Christmas, what do they call it? A Christmas campfire. So little things like that. We use it for. We are starting this fall that we're requiring all of our team families to have the app and have notifications on. I know we can't really see that, but they don't really know that. So we're requiring all of that in hopes to keep them more engaged and keep them in the know. We have 70 some kids on the team, but we have a bulk of 10 to 15 parents who just don't communicate, don't respond to emails, don't respond to any of those things. So we're hoping that this, along with the group chat and requiring some of these things in our policies, will help that in the long run.
Yeah, sorry to kind of pose a hard question. Like I said, we don't really think about the policies being an engagement tool, but it really is like the front line, and you get them to sign that before they even start. So it's a great vessel for information. And Tina, it's my understanding that you also take advantage of policies and our multiple policies functionality. So if you could shed some light on the policies you create for your gym and keeping people engaged.
Well, to touch briefly on how it connects to our parents, for us, of course, all of our policies keep our, lawyers happy and us protected. That's their number one concern. But we also use the policies to communicate our 4 program values. So as an example, hard work, communication, support, and responsibility. Those are our 4 core values. And that's part of our policy sign off, because that is what we expect from our coaches. That's what we expect from our athletes and from our parents as well. So that's kind of their first view into all 4 and what we expect, and what we expect the parents to hold us accountable to as well. It's not just us telling them what we expect from them. It's what they should expect from us as well. But honestly, the thing that changed that was so amazing for us is we have gymnastics and cheer teams. And with those athletes, we were having to use a third-party tool to get those contracts signed. And it was a manual process for us to go and compare. We have, 30 kids on this team. Did we get all 30 contracts back? And then making sure every page was signed and all of that. Not to mention the fees associated with that program. So we were able to get rid of that once you guys started allowing us to have different policies by different classes. That was the game changer. So now when we are placing, we had, let's say, 18 cheer teams and then all of our gymnastics teams. When we sent them their congratulatory, you made this team, it gave them the link to their team class. And then they would click on that to enroll. And then those policy specific handbooks, as well as the contracts, that all just came into Jackrabbit. And then I could easily see who hadn't. And if you enrolled, I knew that you had done those agreements. So if we were expecting 28 and there was only 26 enrolled, we knew we had 2 people missing. So it just really was not just a financial savings from not having to pay for DocuSign. It was a big time savings for us. And then having those records there, it's going to be there 7 years from now as required. Unlike my DocuSigns that you lose after a year if you don't keep paying. So it was just a complete game changer. It's one of the best things you've done for team programs, I think, since in the 10 years I've been here. It's game changer. Thank you.
I mean, I really appreciate hearing what that has done for you. And I hope, if anybody listening right now thinks about their policies, if they've ever had to write one broad policy and hope it covers all their classes, all their teams, this is an option for you. Policies for parties, policies for team, policy for, your trampoline and tumbling team,
One other call out from our attorney that was super helpful was she liked us having more separate policies instead of having one, 20-page document. She really liked it broken down and signed especially on the key important items, and Jackrabbit gives you that total flexibility. So we were able to honor our attorney's request as well. So that's it.
Yes, no, and that's really the most important part.
Can I just add what I have found that I really like is as soon as they sign up on those policies, they get an email with all of those policies listed out. So there it is, right in your email. And everybody's, I didn't know I needed to give you notification by such and such a date. Yes, you did. So,
and it's on the dashboard. When they log in as a parent, they can click and see everything they've signed right there. It's beautiful.
yeah, I
One thing
totally
I do
agree.
want to mention to everyone, though, and I have noticed it a few times, and be wary of it. If a parent puts their child's name down on the waiver or on the policy, it is not legally binding. So even though those policies are signed, someone should really be looking at every single one of them. We've ran into this problem about a couple months ago where someone signed their kid's name and technically it's not legally binding.
We recently hosted a webinar with gym lawyers covering, the policies that you should be thinking about for your business. And Gym Lawyers is a really great resource. So hopefully I can have Molly show the link for the YouTube in this chat. So go back and kind of visit the nitty-gritty of making your policies and the things you might not think about to ensure you're covered when you're setting up your multiple policies. It is a very good point. Consult your lawyer and just make sure your ducks are in a row. And Ryan, I don't want to leave you out. Is there anything you'd like to add about policies at all?
I mean, we use multiple policies. So I have a separate policy for a performing group, for a competition team, for our regular classes, and then also for our summer camps. So I was elated when you all released multiple policies. I think the only thing that I don't think got mentioned, I think, like when you're breaking up your policies into the smaller chunks, if you edit just one of the policies, it reprompts the parents to approve that policy. So that's a nice feature that if you do need to switch something up in the mid-season you don't have to redo the whole set of policies. You can just update that one piece of information, which I think is great.
Yes, again, to make sure you're covered. I think I had seen a question recently from a Jackrabbit user saying, I don't have them sign my policies often. How do I prompt them to sign them every year? Well, through Jackrabbit, you can just do that. You don't have to think about sending a DocuSign, having, stapled pamphlets at the front desk, paper and folders and all that stuff. So it makes it a lot easier to keep things up to date and keep yourself covered. Another kind of interesting off the beaten path, not quite a major feature in terms of Jackrabbit Plus or Spot TV, is the opportunity of allowing makeups for absences. This is kind of a different one too, but a great way of keeping families engaged and coming back by allowing that flexibility. And I believe everyone here kind of takes advantage of that. So we'll kind of work our way around and go over, the feedback that parents provide by being appreciative for kind of making their own makeups or having that option. So we'll start with you, Tina.
For us, it really changed the lives of our front desk staff, because when someone wanted a makeup, when the customer was up there, they were having to try to figure out what time, what class would work for the customer. And now that it's all available to the customer in the portal, they can go on anytime, schedule their makeups. They can pick what works best for their schedule. They can proactively tell us they're not going to be there as well. It's just been a huge time saver. And again, I think our parents on average want to be able to do that from the comfort of their own home versus standing at the desk in line waiting to get help on that.
Yeah, I in a previous life, I worked at a gymnastics facility, and it was always shocking that people forgot they had a vacation. I mean, I definitely know when I'm going somewhere. So allowing them to kind of do their makeup at 3 a.m. when it comes to them, was a really great feature. How about you, Heather, for allowing absences and makeups?
For us, it's one of the best features we've got. We absolutely love it. We have a seasonal swim school. We're in New Hampshire, so it's outdoors. And unfortunately, this year we have had so much rain, so many thunderstorms. We've had to do a lot of class cancellations. So once we cancel the class, we go mark them all as absent, and then they can reschedule at their convenience rather than getting like hundreds of phone calls. And each phone call was, well, what do you have available? Do you have anything on Tuesday? Nope, you don't. oh, well, and each phone call would take so much time. Now it's all they can speechless how much I love the makeups and absences. We haven't gotten to the point yet where we're requiring them to submit a future absence so that we can fill that space with somebody else who wants to do a makeup. But I could see that might have some value as a school, but not necessarily for a customer. Like to make them, if they know they're going to be absent ahead of time, to submit that future absence in order to do a makeup. I don't think we would go that way, but the possibility is there.
Sure. And how about you, Jesse?
So our makeups are a little different. We don't actually allow makeups to be scheduled in Jackrabbit. Everything's done through the desk. We only allow one makeup every 8 weeks, and you must make up in our open gym. You cannot make up in an open class. We have our open gym that's every Friday night. You get to make up there. So it's not really, we don't have to look around for classes that are open and what classes aren't open. That's just where they get to go. It's not really an option. I do find that it helps them offering the makeups. It does help them from feeling ripped off. You know, when your kid's sick and they can't come in, you feel like you're getting ripped off. You're paying $25, $30, $40 for this class anyway, but now you can't go because your kid has a runny nose. And honestly, we don't want them there if they have a runny nose. We do require makeups to be scheduled in, absences to be called in. So they can call in the same day, but they must let us know that they will not be in there in order to schedule a makeup. So if the coaches put it in, it's not eligible for makeup.
I think you make a really good point about, the value and the perception of value for having makeups. I know that ends up playing a big role in the average lifetime of a student and, just customer service. So even if you're lax or, you kind of have your rules in place, having that option.
So one other thing that we
helpful.
do, so we will be a little lenient on it where we technically allow one makeup every 8 weeks. However, we'll find that in November, we'll get some families that want to cancel because they're so busy over December. So we'll offer them that extra makeup. That usually keeps them on rather than they cancel and want to sign back up. So that's another thing we will offer. And that us doing it at the desk gives us control to manipulate it how we want to run it rather than what's in our settings.
Sure. And how about you, Ryan, with allowing makeups and absences and kind of what's your process and how is that perceived?
So I think we allow about a month time for them to do a makeup. And we're pretty generous with that. I mean, if somebody's really close to that edge, we'll extend it a little bit. But entering absences, the more we kind of walked people through that process and explained what that is, we've been getting more of those. It's been great with a third of our clientele is adults. So our adults are really good about going in and putting in those advanced absences, which has been great for that program because then the teachers know exactly what's going on. They don't think someone's just fallen off on the wayside. They actually understand that the person's out sick or they're traveling for work or whatever that is. So that's been really helpful. And then also being able to schedule the makeups has been a game changer. I mean, we probably only field 1 to 2 phone calls or emails where people need us to help them with their makeup scheduling. Otherwise, they're all coming in an automated fashion, they're doing it on their own time when it's convenient, which has been great.
And that gives you a lot of time back to do other
Right.
things in your front desk to kind of focus on customer service versus, sifting through open classes. So that is a
And
real
I
win.
will also touch on what Jesse said. We don't want them there when they're sick. I mean, we still offer streaming classes in conjunction with our existing classes. So anything we can do to ensure that they feel like, well, if I can't be there for the class, I can still do it, or I can find another time to do it. We keep that going for them just to make it simple.
And before I start kind of opening it up to other questions, I want to make sure that no one thought of anything after the fact if they wanted to add that on, whether it be Spot TV, policies. Otherwise, I'll open it up to some questions. All right. I have a question here from Ashley. Is there a quick way to check the policy sign name to review if student's name is incorrectly listed? I am not 100% certain, if I'm being honest. Jesse, you had mentioned how you go about checking that, if you could shed some light into your process.
I don't check every single one of them. So when a family registers, I go to the policy tab and I just pull up the first one and see if they wrote their parent's name. Normally, if they wrote the name for the first one, they wrote them down all the way down. So on the family page, there's a tab that says policies. If you click on the policies tab, it will take you to, hold on, I'm looking at a family right now. You just have to go view and then just scroll all the way down to the bottom and it tells you when it was agreed to, who agreed to it. And what's really nice is you can follow that. Like I just honestly copy and paste it and send it back in an email a lot. Like you signed this on this day. So you have to hit view under policies.
So, a bit of a manual process, Ashley, but, the peace of mind of double checking, I think will go a long way. I also have a question here from Carrie about if the policies that they're signing online are legally binding. They are. Obviously, you want to check the fine print and kind of make sure you're covered in that regard, but them signing off on that is legally binding and you can hold them to that. It's much like every time we approve a pop-up saying that we understand the terms and conditions. I know we don't all read those. I think we should, but it really is similar. So that virtual signature still matters. Does anyone else have any questions about anything we talked about today or something kind of outside of this that they think is a great connection opportunity? I think we got a quiet group. I think we shocked them with, how wowed we are by some of these features and how we use them. The wheels are burning in their head, right? I mean, if we don't have other questions, I can kind of wrap things up today. Well, I do have a question on what is the best way to set up Jackrabbit Plus. In the link that was posted in the chat, you'll kind of see all the information that you need there. And there's a really handy button for, I already have Jackrabbit, but I want Jackrabbit Plus. So if that call you have tomorrow at noon is to set up Jackrabbit Plus, you're on the right path. To kind of continue on that, there's an additional fee for Jackrabbit Plus that is also based on your student count. So on that page, you'll see pricing. And yeah, how do I know if I do or do not have Jackrabbit Plus? You can chat in, I think would really be the easiest option. So if you are a Jackrabbit Plus user and you are logged in, there's a little question mark at the top and it allows you to send an email or chat and you can double check. It's super easy. If you even want to shoot me an email, I can take a look because I literally just say yes, no, and then I can get you on the right path. And with that being said, if the wheels are turning, there's some next steps for you. So if you are a Jackrabbit user, the Facebook user group is an amazing resource for reaching out to other people to kind of get their ideas. If you have any questions, this is where we sourced this amazing group today. So they're active in that group, responding and answering questions. You can connect with a product coach if you are not a Jackrabbit user to ask any questions that you might have about what we talked about today or anything else that has come up. Before kind of jumping in and possibly doing a demo or a free trial. And if you are with Jackrabbit or kind of want to poke around, we do have a ton of resources in the Help Center that play on what we talked about today or any of our features that cover the how-tos that may answer some of your questions as well. But before I go, I want to thank everybody who was on this panel today for giving us insight into their business and how they use these features. I think we have some really great takeaways and hopefully some action items for you all. And If anybody else wants to chime in or say anything, feel free. But again, I thank you, and I hope that you are able to attend the next 2 live panels that we have. We have one on Tuesday and we have one on Wednesday. And if you're signed up for this one, you're signed up for all of them. And should you not be able to attend, I personally will be sending out the on-demand recordings for you to watch again at your leisure. So thank you all today. And if there are no more questions, I will let everybody get back to their busy day. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great weekend. Have a great week, everybody. It's only
Have a good
Tuesday.
one.
Thank you.
Oops.